This is Dave Baran. I'm here with Carol Goforth, Professor Carol Goforth, Baxter Hines of Honeycomb Digital. We're here for just a monthly update and interview, and it's that time of the year where taxes are right around the corner. But also this year is the Coinbase IPO, which is tomorrow, launches tomorrow. Carol, what do you think about that IPO?
I think it is tremendously exciting. It is the largest U.S. crypto exchange. It's not the largest in the world, but it is the largest U.S. crypto exchange. It has various experts predicting valuation all the way from 50 billion to 180 billion I've seen. So I think it is tremendously exciting for crypto enthusiasts, for those who are barely ready to dip their toes into the pool, those who do not really know how to get into crypto but would like to not be left out. This is a much more conventional way to invest in something that's like crypto, because you can invest in the stock of a major public company, get all the documentation that you're used to seeing from a reporting company, and still be part of the crypto movement. I think it is a reflection of the growing Bitcoin and crypto price increases. So I think the timing is particularly good, but I think it is a hugely beneficial and hugely significant milestone for crypto in general.
And just to give a little bit of perspective on just how big it is, you said some numbers around the market cap. I've heard it could potentially be, or the latest number I've heard is 110 billion. That would make it the 6th largest bank by market cap in the world. It would also make it bigger than Goldman Sachs. Now, whether you agree with the valuation,
bigger than NASDAQ.
Yeah, so whether you agree with it or not, I saw someone in the press say, look, boards in the financial community, whether it's, HSBC's board or whether it's, JP Morgan, they're all going to say, how did we miss this? This thing is now bigger than Goldman Sachs, and it was just started, 10 years ago. What do we need to do to stop the next wave of this stuff from, really biting us? How do we take a piece of that pie? And so I think it's great for additional infrastructure build in the industry. It's certainly good from a credibility standpoint. And I think it's just going to have more people talking and lead to more adoption. And so it again, whether you agree with the valuations or not, and I'm not endorsing it as an investment, but it is a monumental moment for the digital industry.
I think that's absolutely right. One of the things that struck me about this is I've seen all of these a little more conservative publications coming out. Is Bitcoin a bubble? Is this just something that's going to burst? I looked at CoinMarketCap today. The price is over 62,000 per coin. The total coin market capitalization is now over $2 trillion for crypto assets. If this is a bubble and it bursts, like the real estate bubble did a few years ago, it's not going to go back down to zero. It might lose 40%. And then it'll be at one point, whatever trillion dollars. So This is, even they're asking the wrong question. Even if this is a bubble, there is so much interest, so much value there that it is going to, it's just going to continue to be significant.
And if it bursts with that size, it's going to have spillover effects into the rest of the economy. And so you can't ignore it anymore. That's the long and short.
That Deutsche Bank quote, too big to ignore.
Yep.
So who are Coinbase's competitors, and what will happen to them following, this,
Okay.
do you think?
Well, Coinbase, which is California based, is the biggest crypto exchange in the United States. But around the world, the largest exchange is Binance. Huobi is larger. I think there's another one that's larger as well, but I don't remember. Is it
Well, it depends also how you look at them. So Coinbase is particularly interesting in that it's easy to bring fiat money into the exchange, or it's easier than some of the others. Whereas something like Binance, they're usually trading crypto for crypto. So if you want to exchange, Bitcoin for ETH or something like that, or they use Tether or some of the other stable coins, and it's a little bit more difficult to bring dollars into some of these other exchanges. So a lot of people look at Coinbase as a proxy for just the development of the overall market, because again, it's easy to on-ramp that money, and also just because of the sheer size of the U.S. In my book, I pointed out how if you take the three largest economies in the world, the U.S., China, and Japan, the net worth in those countries is greater than the next 175, or really all the rest put together. And with the U.S. being so large, by having a big monumental event like this, it just because of the stature of the U.S. and the global economy, it makes it that much more important.
Yeah, one of the things that happened, I mean, if you look at some of the competitors, they're newer. Coinbase has been around for quite some time. And one of the things that happened that annoyed a lot of Bitcoin and other crypto users was that Coinbase a few years ago, I think 2016, was hit with a massive IRS summons and asked to reveal all sorts of information. And Coinbase fought that and wound up only having to report information about users that had transactions in excess of $20,000. But that was still a report to a taxing official, a government official. And I think it did drive some users away from Coinbase into exchanges that were not located within the United States, that were not then immediately subject to IRS requests for information. Now, the IRS has more recently sent out a number of requests for information subpoenas to non-U.S. based exchanges as well. So I think that those folks who left the U.S. Coinbase may not have succeeded in evading the taxing authorities in the way that I think they hoped for.
Well, speaking of taxes, we're coming up on April 15th. The way that things stand now when it comes to crypto transactions and cryptocurrency in regard to taxation with the IRS, is this something that we think the Biden administration is going to have a view on that's going to change things? I know right now it's treated as an investment. It's treated not as a currency. Retail folks, retail investors buying and selling it are going to be hit with capital gains. Is this something that you all think will change? Is this something that folks need to just get used to? What do you think, Baxter?
I think the IRS is always going to have its hand out for anything that they can touch. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just that's their nature. They are tasked with collecting revenue for the government, and when someone makes a gain off of an asset, they are supposed to take the lawful amount, and crypto is no different. In fact, they frown very much on people who do not declare their income on taxes. And so the first thing that I would say is people need to take record keeping very seriously. A lot of the exchanges that we've been talking about are not quite there in terms of being able to give you the best types of records. Some are better than others. I'll just leave it at that. And that's another reason that I encourage people to go with a firm like Honeycomb Digital when you are looking to invest in crypto, because with custodians, with our records, you have a log of when trades have been made on your behalf. And that's really what will trigger a taxable event. And so that's step one in being able to even determine what your tax liability is. And so you need to make sure you're well organized and have the ability to get those tax records together by April 15th or whenever your taxes are due.
I will say that we are fortunate this year that the tax deadline is not April 15th. It has been, for federal purposes, pushed back a month to May. And a lot of states, particularly those that base theirs on the federal returns, have also pushed back filing deadlines. So you've got a little bit of time this year. But I absolutely agree, record keeping is key. And it's not just when you buy and sell or sell and buy, but if you exchange or trade your crypto asset, you're not selling it on an exchange, but you're actually taking advantage of Tesla's offer and using it to buy a brand new car. Or you're using, the MasterCard is saying that they're going to allow some kinds of crypto to be used as a payment mechanism. And PayPal is now saying that they're going to accept that as a medium of exchange. If you buy something with a crypto asset and you think you're just exchanging your crypto for whatever you're buying, if there is a difference between what you paid for the crypto and the value at the time of the purchase, that exchange, that too is a taxable event, even though you never saw the cash in your hand. So the record keeping and anytime there is an exchange of crypto for another form of crypto, for an asset, for any kind of fiat, that's a taxable event. And when you go to your tax advisor for help, they are going to need to know when the acquisition was and when the exchange, the sale, the transfer, and any interim exchanges took place.
Which I don't think about that in terms of investments. Cashing out an investment to liquidate something to buy a house or whatever it is you may do with fiat. I just take for granted the record keeping and the fact that sale is, in my mind, separate for them actually using the fiat to then go buy something. Here, if you're taking it directly from your digital wallet and using it to buy a Tesla, that is the point at which that record keeping needs to happen for that point, because that's what you'll be taxed on.
And if you have a single wallet and all of your Bitcoin or whatever other currency, crypto you have in there was acquired at different points in time, figuring out, okay, which Bitcoin am I now expending? Because they are fungible, current IRS rules give a presumption that it's first in, first out. So keeping track of and how you consistently do that is also problematic unless you have somebody really experienced and trustworthy helping you do it.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for your time today. We'll wrap it up, and the next time we speak, Coinbase will be a public company, and they'll give us something else interesting to talk about.
Undoubtedly.
Seems like every week another exciting story, so there'll be plenty to discuss.
Great. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.